So what are we talking about when we talk about self-care? I like to really distill and simplify things. And for me, and again, this is just my experience. And so I want to throw this out there and after I give my little introductory piece here, um, for me, self-care really boils down to spaciousness. It really boils down for me personally to, do I have enough space that I don't feel pressured in some way? Or I don't know, where I feel anxious or I feel rushed in some way. So all of my personal self care practices involve, healthy boundaries, taking space when I need it, having gaps between client calls,
Mm,
all sorts of things like that. Um,
mm,
when I think about how that shows up in, and my life, because I work for myself, the line between personal and professional gets a little blurry. But when I have been in workspace settings in the distant past, it sort of showed up the same way. It's, how do I set boundaries? How do I recognize when I need something? And I've recognized in myself, when I don't have that spaciousness, I'm less good at recognizing that I need something. So I even need the space to recognize that I need the space. So you learn about yourself over the years, and then you say, well, I know this ahead of time. And if I don't have this space, at the end of the day, I'm going to be cranky. And so why do that to myself? Let's build it in. Um, the place that spaciousness for me shows up a little different is in leadership. Um, for me, I mean, different but similar, in that when we're leading systems of people, at least it's been my experience, the spaciousness comes in more subtle ways. And by that, I mean often through things like clear communication. You create the boundaries because of the clarity. You create the spaciousness. And again, I'm throwing out lots of maybes or my experiences, and I'm really excited to sort of get this rolling in a dialogue. But that's one way that I think sort of self care and spaciousness shows up in leadership. And how about relationally? What do people think about? Um, how do you take care of yourself in, and of course it's all related, but we're mostly talking about so far how we sort of do it alone, or for us. But is it different? I guess is part of what I'm asking is when we're relating to others, how do we do it, or how do things change, or how do we take care of ourselves when we're engaged with another, real time? Is because if we forget to include ourselves in the equation, ultimately we're no longer in the equation.
mm,
And then that's the depletion. That's the, at least in my experience, oh, if I didn't tend to my needs or include myself in each moment, like I'm doing right now, I'm answering your question, but that doesn't mean I'm abandoning my own awareness. In fact, my answer comes from that awareness.
mm,
It doesn't come from up here. It actually comes more from belly,
mm.
and thighs on the chair, because that's the greater. I think that's, in my experience, that's the more useful information.